Stagflation. Are we in the middle of it? We've all heard the term stagflation, especially recently with the interesting economic circumstances seen in the USA. Now, stagflation is characterized by slow economic growth and relatively high amount of unemployment or economic stagnation, which is at the same time accompanied by rising prices. Another way of putting it is an economic situation with high inflation combined with a decline in the gross domestic product, also known as GDP. But now the big question is the USA currently in this economic state? Well, let's look into all of this. First, we will have to look at the GDP situation in 2021. When it comes to this, the USA had a GDP growth of 6.3 in Q1, 6.7 in Q2, and 2% in Q3. Clearly, the economy is slowing down, and Goldman Sachs has an economic growth target for the USA of 5.6% for 2021. And they have actually cut these forecasts down multiple times by now. But what about inflation then? Well, so far the inflation rate has been holding above 5% for quite a while. And the Fed expects an average inflation of 4.2% for this year. So clearly the economy is still growing, but not a whole lot if you deduct the inflation from the GDP. So while the situation isn't great, it's not stagflation. Yet. However, I know a lot of you don't really trust the Fed, including me. So we will also be looking at alternative inflation data. Back in the 1980s and 90s, they calculated inflation in a completely different way. And currently, those charts are getting significantly higher numbers. According to the data from economist Walter J. Williams, who runs shadowstats.com, we are currently experiencing an inflation rate of 9 to 13%. Clearly, if this is the case, then we are in a stagflation situation. However, do take those numbers with a grain of salt. Walter J. Williams is a real economist, but people have criticized his work. Now, in the end, we will have to wait and see. But regardless, the situation isn't looking great. The most recent inflation number actually hit 6.2%, which is a 30-year high. So if this trend continues and the GDP performance of America keeps going down, we will certainly end up in a stagflation situation. And to be honest, a lot of people already think that we are right in the middle of it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Be sure to check out my eToro account, then you can see what I invest in and what I do and my investing style and some other information because I publish articles there. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter. I talk about Nintendo games, but also a lot about economics, so you can check it out if you want.